Back in the day, they made things to last. Everything in this building that's been here since the beginning still works exactly the way that it was meant to. No shortcuts, no plastic gears, just steel, sweat, and pride. The good kind. But over time, as mass production took over, quality gave way to quantity, which is sad to think about, but there are a couple of upsides. In exchange, we got something new, tools and technology that anyone can get their hands on. And some of them are downright incredible. So now this place that I love so much is full of endless projects. Each one of them fighting for time, energy, and whatever tools we've got that still work. Every day it's something new. A seized bolt, a rusty window frame, a machine that hasn't turned over in 50 years. It never stops. But the right tools, they change everything. They take the impossible and make it manageable. They turn frustration into progress. And one of the things that we've been aiming toward is a new makerspace inside the factory. And every tool that earns its place here isn't just for us. It's destined for the next person who wants to learn, create, or fix something themselves. It's going to be an awesome makerspace. And that's the goal, to make this old factory a place where hands-on work and shared knowledge can keep building something worth keeping. And so today we're putting one of those tools to the test. It's the XLASERLAB X1 Pro. It welds, it cleans, it cuts, and on YouTube it's the latest and greatest thing that everybody's talking about. But here, inside this old building that was built when overbuilt was the standard, we're going to find out what it's really made of. We're pushing it way beyond its specs, past what any sane person would try, because the steel in this place, it's not just metal. It's history hardened by time, the good stuff. And I should probably say this up front, I'm totally inexperienced, as all of you guys know, when it comes to welding and fabrication. So today isn't just about testing a tool, it's about learning, exploring, and probably making a few mistakes along the way. You know how we roll here at Brick and Soul, one mistake at a time. Because YouTube is like full of videos of super competent folks who can walk you through every setting and every perfect weld. But this one's about a guy figuring it out as he goes. And we could do these jobs a dozen different ways. Angle grinders, sawzalls, cutting torches, and I'm sure I'll hear about that in the comments. But that's not really what today's about. Today's about seeing if modern innovation can stand toe-to-toe with the good old days, with the kind of craftsmanship that just refused to quit. We have so many windows in the building. I think there's over 500 9-foot tall windows. And because the glass is out in so many places, the water is able to get its way in and do its terrible work. And we've got all of these windowsills that need to be repaired. Well, I could probably make this little video montage go on for hours if I showed every place in the building that needed repair. So you may remember that in one of our previous videos, we were gifted lots of antique shoe carts from another brown shoe from a different city here in the state of Illinois. And then way back, we got 2 from a local friend here, Miss Teet, and she gave us 2 that actually came from the Charleston brown shoe building. But we've got these carts, and they need to be basically overhauled from the ground up. And we do have a plan for that. More on that coming up on the channel pretty soon. But all this can be cleaned, and then there is a little bit of welding that needs to happen. And I'm really curious to find out if we use that laser cleaner on these wheels and get a lot of that junk removed, if those wheels will free up and start to turn a little better. So it'll be a great test case for the machine.
Just so you know, it was advertised that it removes rust from old parts. I didn't really appreciate it when Chris tried to use it on me. My rust is permanent.
Yeah, you are definitely an old part.
I'm an old rusty part for sure.
Oh, did you say you're an old rusty fart?
No, well, whatever. I've been called way worse.
Oh yeah, part.
Part, yeah.
It comes provided with glasses.
Somebody has an extremely small head, or I have an extremely large head. This thing is like for a pinhead.
All right, so before we get to all that, we want to do just a little testing. We want to test the laser cleaner and test the cutter, and just make sure that we're working, everything's good, and we have a little experience before we start getting into that piece. So, because I want to mess it up. So, are you ready, Bob?
Yep.
Okay. So we've got an 1/8 inch piece of steel here. And basically the machine says that you can't do a vertical cut like that. You've got to kind of lay your gun like this. And you've got this connected to the gun. You should probably have it connected to the stock. We can do a test on that in a second.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Even with my shaky hands, I manage, which, like, I do that intentionally. My shaky hands make a much nice, wider cut. Yeah, it's supposed to be zigzag.
It doesn't help when, because, like, you can get a little, if you lay it kind of on the material, that helps you steady as well. But this surface is so pitted and rough that
yeah, you just about have to freehand it.
you have to freehand it up above it, which gives a little wobble. But
so it takes a little bit of practice just to get your speed right with your cut depth and everything. I'm sure the heavier it is, you might have to go a little bit slower, but
yeah, because
man, that thing cuts.
What we want to cut today, what we're going to try today is really thick stuff. And I saw on another YouTube video that it can do really thick stuff. So
you know, the coolest part about this, I think, if anybody's familiar with cutting, you got to have oxygen and acetylene, and you're constant going and getting those filled, and you're like, I better not use that because I don't have much gas left. With this, all you need is electric and air, and you're cutting.
Well, that is a good point, because this machine can do welding, it can do laser cleaning, and it can do cutting. And for 2 out of the 3 of those, all you need is compressed air.
Yes.
You can do it with compressed air. And then on the welding part, we still need argon gas, which can be pretty pricey to get set up with the tank and the first fill and all that stuff. And
right.
And it goes through it pretty quick. So
yeah,
it's really nice that all you need is an air compressor.
Yeah, and it's not cheap to be buying that. Plus, just the inconvenience every time you want to do something, you got to go get it.
Yeah, that's right. But this is super encouraging. So this is just our first test. What do you say we try laser cleaning?
Sounds good to me.
The user interface is really cool because it just, you just pick which one you want. These two are super simple to get going. There's not much to it. They have the recommended heads there with the gram. If you're cutting, if you're laser cleaning, whatever, and you just unscrew them and screw on the appropriate piece. You make sure you got your connection with your little safety clips there. He's doing that because it's pretty hot.
Yeah, you might want to know how I figured that out.
By touching it?
Yeah, my fingers figured that out pretty quickly. I decided I didn't like the feel of it.
So, but look how intuitive this user interface is. When you go to welding, you go into that menu, you just hit the confirm button, and it has like presets like carbon steel, aluminum, stainless, and you can set the thickness and the material, and it's all set up for welding. You just have to make sure you have the right wire and you're good to go. So for somebody like me who is very inexperienced, this is a super friendly way to get started. I was kind of surprised and pleased at the fact that we could just basically get it going from turning it on. So let me take you through this process. I'm gonna confirm. Then you can play with these settings here. And when we first turned it on, we couldn't quite figure it out. And we realized that for cleaning, you need to have this connected to the gun or Do we actually know what it needs to be connected to?
No, don't have a clue.
But it does work when you connect it to the gun.
You know, we're men. It's not like we read instructions.
I'm going to insert some info here on how that actually works. So.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't take our word for it. It's not the right way. It's our way.
Yeah. So everything's good to go. You need to have your air compressor hooked up, the right tip on, and I think you just pull the trigger, right?
You don't have a green light.
Oh, you got to push the power button.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. When you change some settings, you have to turn it off and then turn it back on. And watch how simple this is.
That is clean metal.
Do you know how many hours I spent with the wire wheel cleaning stuff?
Just for the fun of it, let's do this really pitted stuff and just see what it does.
Okay.
I'm calling that pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, that is really impressive.
That took a few seconds, and I mean, that's just bare metal now.
It's just bare metal. And what happens is that this laser does like a zigzag pattern on there, and you can change the frequency. Because if you move too quick, you'll see where that zigzag is kind of spread out a little bit. If you take it nice and slow, it'll get full coverage. And you can adjust that frequency, how fast that laser is moving right there.
And if you don't have the old man shakes like I do, you can do a pretty good job with it.
You just did something. I think we're thinking the same thing. Maybe not. You cleaned that piece, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you had a steel stencil here, because I mean, for me, it's like the art of this kind of stuff. Let me
go around it now.
Yeah, like set it right there.
Well,
in a clean place.
Did we clean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's doing it.
Yeah. So like, if you had steel stencils, you could lay this on there. See if you can stencil that in. Hopefully there'll be a square around the square there, and there is. So, yeah, you could stencil letters if you had the patterns or whatever. You could do signs with that in Rust. Yeah. That would be, wow, that's cool. So now we know. We feel pretty good about it. What does the floor look like underneath? Because one thing we haven't set up yet is a proper welding table or something to stop that laser. It passes through, and it goes on down to the floor. And so, I need more. Is it hot? It's definitely scarifying the concrete, but I can't feel anything. There's no relief to it, so it's not like it's digging into the concrete or anything. It's just kind of singeing the outside of it. So, yeah, you definitely want to have something behind it. I can't believe this is legal and they can trust us with something like this. This is...
Oh, they probably thought somebody qualified was going to use it. Yeah. They didn't realize it was two idiots just having fun with stuff.
Yeah.
we went from that to that.
Wow.
In just a few seconds.
Just a few seconds. So recently we've been out digging in the underground bases for the original water tower. There were 2 water towers built in the early 1900s that basically pressurized water to get throughout the whole 66,000 square feet here. And they removed them, I think, around 1980-ish. But there's some really cool old industrial stuff down in the ground. And I've been basically lusting after it for a long time. There are 2 of these tanks. We've got one here. We've got one over there. They're basically identical. And I think, what were these for, Bob? Do you have any idea?
I don't know if they were holding tanks or if they were like a hydraulic shock tank. I have no idea.
Anyway, they're cool.
Yeah.
They're cool. And actually, I need to see if I can get this pulled up. But as always, I'm always reimagining stuff. And I don't know if I can even do this. What I want to use them for, if we can do it. Oh!
Howdy doody.
Oh my gosh. We might be working on this on the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh my gosh. I can roll it that way. There's no way. No, that's it. Okay. So you've seen the old bust statues or whatever. These things are so cool because I think they would be a great pedestal under a piece of sculpture.
I just saw you bust something trying to lift that, but I'm not sure what it was.
Yeah. The surface up here is riveted. And so what I'm going to do is basically cut all of this extra stuff off. This is like some really thick pre-war steel here. And it's got rivets everywhere. And I want to stand them up vertically. There's 2 of them, which makes them a pair. And I want to stand them up vertically. And then I could put some sculpture, maybe like a sculpture of a shoe or a boot or something here in the building. And we need to use that laser cutter, if possible. We're going to test it in a real world scenario to cut off these different chunks so that we have nothing left but the cylinder. And then is the other part. Another cool thing that I've been talking about since basically day 1 on the channel. Come with me and I'll show you those. We took them out with Bobcat the other day that we had rented by Jeff, and to me, this is where basically the thing joins. It's got a big piece of metal in there that when somebody turned a wheel up.
I'm backlighting, go ahead.
Okay, somebody turned a wheel up here on top, and it would push that valve down in there and shut off the water. But as you see, it's coupled here through these bolts. Totally rusted through, full of rust, so we don't know exactly what's on the inside. But my idea for this whole thing is to go ahead and separate it here, this top half. I don't know if it's even possible, but we were able to cut a few bolts off when it was down there with an angle grinder, and I was able to drive out the bolts here. But it was so low to the ground I couldn't get the underneath part, so we just cut it off and brought it in. We got a pair of these also. And it's got a big wheel that sits up here for closing the valve. And this flared out base. I'm hoping that that tool can help us to cut these bolts off so that we can separate this, set it on the ground, use the laser cleaner to clean it all up because it's like got kind of a flakiness to it, as you can see there. When the wheels, it'll be just like a super overbuilt, authentically antique pair of lamp bases. So they say 1924 on them. The building was built in 1919, so I'm assuming that the water towers couldn't be earlier than 1924 because that's when these were installed. But all of these little clues kind of help us as we're discovering more and more about the building. And like I said, I have been really wanting to do this for a long time, and so I'm really grateful to have this tool. Okay.
Oh wow, didn't weigh anything.
So what we're dealing with, I guess, there's a rubber gasket that was in there.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that should catch fire and burn.
Yeah.
That'll smell nice.
So what we're dealing with is like incredibly pitted steel up here.
It's really gone down here.
Yeah. So we don't know how it's going to deal with that. We're going to do a test here in just a minute. And we've got 1, 2, 3, and then the big one down there to cut off. This, I know for a fact, will cut off. We need to actually, probably once so sitting up is okay for cleaning. But then to cut it off, we probably need to lay it back down again, just so we're shooting toward the floor.
I've got another suggestion you might consider.
Okay.
Cutting these off and getting them slick may not be that easy, but if we can't, another alternative might be to weld 3 pipe nipples on here and just make feet.
Oh.
We could put, some short pipe feet on this, and it would look right, but we wouldn't have to worry about these then.
Oh, that's true.
But you can try it. That thing might just zip them off of there. But that weld is going to be tough. If it cuts that weld, that's a heck of a machine.
There, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And since you got to go at an angle, this might be your trick right here with it standing up.
Just cut a hole in the bottom.
just cut it out of there.
And actually, I think part of the reason why it's so heavy is probably full of rust.
I can't imagine.
So anyway, we're definitely going to put this thing to the test because there's some thick metal here.
Yeah,
so
we're going to try to take it to the limits here.
And I think the biggest challenge is just going to be doing it in a way where the laser doesn't just go shooting across the room into...
And I was hoping it was the lifting.
Yeah, yeah, all done.
Yeah.
How can we do this in a safe way so the laser is not...
When did we start doing things in a safe way?
Yeah.
Are you turning over a new leaf?
Well, when we're upping the ante into laser technology.
This is a guy that was taking stuff that weighed more than he did off the ceiling with rickety chains and...
Yeah. All right. We're up. A giant piece of machinery off the bucket truck over a...
Yeah.
All right, so... What about using that steel as a back? That probably couldn't hurt, right?
What are you worried about exactly?
Well, like if we're shooting like this to cut this off, if the laser goes like over there.
I'm saying if you shoot like this.
Oh, just in a downward.
Yeah, just keep your angle.
Gotcha.
And you can either try cutting here. If you could cut this off here.
Bob, that's why you're on my team. So I don't do stupid stuff.
Dad always said, give the laziest job the hardest job, and he'll figure the easiest way to do it. So if we try cutting through this instead of the weld, try cutting that pipe nipple, just try around this.
Because then even if
the bolts should hold it off enough that it might be okay.
That's right. And so the question is, even if we can't get the welding stuff cut.
Right, as long as you can cut the steel here.
Yeah, then we can do on a grinding wheel. We can get that last little bit.
Cutting it here. I mean, you could try it here. It's a good test just to see if it'll cut that weld. But even if it doesn't, you could cut it here and see what it does.
Okay, I think I'm going to let you do it and I'll film.
Yeah, but my hand shakes so bad. Do you really want me cutting that?
All right, I'll try it. We'll see.
Yeah, what the heck? Okay. Make sure you use the clean side. Like butter.
Like butter. Wow.
Now, try that hard weld and see if you can blow through that hard weld and get it below these bolts.
Okay.
Unless you're happy with it where it's at.
No, I want to take it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've cut to the next day because yesterday just was not enjoyable having a shower of sparks on me. So we decided that I needed to go get some proper safety equipment. And so we went to Harbor Freight and I picked up some sleeves and some gloves. And I have my little apron here, and we got a welding mask because I still have faith in this thing. I think it's going to be able to cut through that, given enough time. But it was such an intense kind of a thing that I couldn't, you know, withstand all of those sparks. And plus I had like a polyester hooded sweatshirt on, which would not be good if that caught on fire. So protection as I can get from it. Another thing that I did when we were there is that I bought an extra set of sleeves because I felt like once I put those sleeves on and I got this up high, my shoulders are still exposed. So I just bought another pair of sleeves I can throw over my shoulders. I should be with the welding mask fully covered and protected. So. What do you know? And what we're trying to do is get this little surface lower than these bolt heads. So when we flip it over and stand up, this won't be obstructing and, you know, make the thing wobbly. And these are all, these are all boogered up. And I'll have to put the angle grinder on them to flatten them off, hopefully. Hopefully it'll be relatively close. Hot. Woo, that's warm. It's the ring of Sauron. Yep. That is a heavy chunk, so. That is instantly punching through. I guess it must be a softer metal, or it must be a lot thinner, because just in a couple seconds it was, I mean, I did over an 1.5 inch cut in like 5 seconds, so that's good. Now I can get in and cut that bottom half. Well, one thing I'm learning here is that my instinct is wrong, as usual. You know, you think, oh, you just lay it on there and cut like that. But the rustiness is so coarse that it doesn't allow for a smooth movement. So I pulled it back, and when I pulled it back just about 1 inch, it seemed to cut way better. So I guess there's like a focal point of the laser which is optimal for making the cut. Because when I made that initial cut, it was a little bit away and just punched right through. And then for some reason I started resting the machine on the metal again, and it went a lot slower. And then when I got to the bottom, I pulled it back a little bit and it cut through like butter. So it must be like a focal thing. So that's proof of what I was saying before. I couldn't get the
gun all the way in, and it left that space to where I'm making the cut, about 1.5 inches. And that's why it cut clean. Basically, the process is just to unscrew the cutter tip and then put on the cleaner tip. You see how that's kind of a fuzzy laser right there? As I get closer, it intensifies and focuses. So there's an optimal distance for the most power. And on the shaft here, you can actually regulate this as well to kind of do that. If you've got, you know, the position that you like and feel most comfortable with, you can adjust this and set that out further or closer in. So, but that's actually pretty good. That's as close as I'll go. Okay, I would say that was about 10 to 12 minutes, and it looks great. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I still gotta get a little bit around this bolt head, it looks like. But it just, you know, because if you ground it out, you would lose all that texture and stuff that shows its age. It wipes patina off completely. There's no doubt about that. But it does leave stuff that tells its story, which is pretty awesome. So about 12 minutes. I'm guessing this is going to take a little bit longer. I would say, just by estimating what I've experienced so far up here, it's probably about 30 minutes to do that shaft. Another 20 minutes. So maybe an hour and 15 minutes to do this whole thing. It is fast, but it does take a little time. But if you can imagine running a wire wheel on this thing, how many hours that would be to get it cleaned up, no comparison. Okay, it's all done. That's a big change. So Bob was just saying that Rust-Oleum makes a product that we can spray on it, which will neutralize all the rust or whatever and kind of seal it. And then we can put another clear coat on it.
Yeah, it's a rust converter.
And then theoretically, once that stuff is on, it should stay looking just like this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's got a clear coat, it might have a slight sheen to it, but it shouldn't rust. Okay, so as you can see, I got some molten lava on the floor, so it gets hot. Basically just melted it off. It took a hot minute to do it. Okay, so that is pretty massive. It is two pieces, it's a bolt and the nut, so there's theoretically there's a gap between them. So it's cutting two smaller pieces. But I think that that's pretty much fused. So if it cuts this, I don't think there's anything else more you can ask from it. That is a giant piece of metal. There we go. She's off. Okay, so
Well, howdy
Solid
doody.
brass. Look at that. I knew it was brass. Okay. That means that whole chunk in there on the inside is brass.
It's either brass or it's gold. Let's hope it's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could hit that with a sledgehammer, right? And break that and get that chunk of brass out.
You can try it. I don't know.
It might be really interesting looking.
It's also going to be really in there, so we'll see what happens. So basically, the way this works, you have a plate here, you have a plate here.
And they're iron.
Yeah. And when you bring that shaft up, it slides these two plates up out of the way and the water flows. Then when you close the valve, these both come down, but they're loose. Then as this goes down tighter and tighter, it wedges those plates out and seals off the valve.
Okay. So we are just dealing with like a 6-inch shaft.
Yeah, there's only just a small piece of this, and then you got these metal pieces here. But they're not brass, they're just cast.
Okay. So I think we're good. And then depending on how far we want it to stick out the top to put a new pipe on.
You tell me.
It's going easier now, yeah?
Yeah.
So when it inserts in that Okay, it would be good to have there's no way to end that what I'm trying to say without innuendo.
Would you like your protrusion hanging out farther?
All right. So I've been talking about this lamp for a long time, and I don't think I exactly communicated what I wanted, but because we have two of them, we're gonna have a pair. And I'll put a pipe here on this, and then we'll weld it around the base, or braze it, or whatever it takes, because this is cast, right?
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Okay. How can we attach that? Just brazing, or?
What do you want to attach to where?
I wonder if the laser welder could do it. We're not going to do that with the laser at this point until we know more about it. But I was thinking just a vertical pipe would slide onto this with a hole in it to run the electric.
I don't like that.
No?
I don't like that. You know why?
Why?
You're going to cover up these threads, which I think are integral. Okay. I would be more inclined to clamp something back here and maybe attach here and just come up behind it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I wouldn't cover that up.
I'm not opposed to that. So that's pretty cool. That's the most fun part, is trying to figure out how to make it work.
That's our entire life.
Yeah. How to make it work.
Yeah.
It's almost a shame that they won't squeeze in there between those bolts, that base, because that is a single piece. But
well, if you really love it, all you got to do is cut the bolt heads off.
yeah, that's true. The two of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think as floor lamps, just a pair of them side by side, I think it really works.
You have another one?
Yeah, there's another one out in the...
Oh, but you haven't cut it out yet.
There's a little more cutting that has to happen, and we need another piece of heavy equipment to get it out, because it's going to be connected to something like that again. Okay. I'm a professional welder.
That's not bad for a non-welder weld.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
That's pretty good.
So I'm sure for all you makers out there, you probably want one of these. I mean, who wouldn't? A laser beam that can melt through thick steel. So if you're interested and you want one and you'd like to support the channel, the link is below in the description along with the discount code.